This way is good, isn't it? Hi. Do you all have something to write on? A phone is okay, a paper is okay, with a pen is better. Just something to write on. At some point during this talk, you will have to write something down. At least twice. I hope more than that, but we'll see. Okay, we'll give it a couple more minutes for the late comers to come. Might have been grabbing beers upstairs. Okay, the latecomers, do you all have something to write on? You will need a pen or a paper or your mobile phone or whatever. Just something to write on at some point. Really, really, really important. Okay. Hi, I'm Tim. And I'm really glad you're here. I'm really glad you stayed and remained until the end. I know it's been a long day, full of information. Your brains might be exploding already. Your to-do lists are at least that high. I know the drill. It's going to be easy. It's going to be easy. We're just going to speak about mentoring. Mentoring is easy. It's just a low end for you. But I hope to make it interesting. I want to speak about mentoring because this is a forgotten silver bullet. And I mean it. This is something that we used to do. But unfortunately, we don't anymore. And I don't really get why. Or maybe I do. We'll see. This is the greatest of all roller coasters. And you will see why. I hope I will give you, with my experience and the examples, I will give you this impression that I actually like it. And this mentoring stuff is actually why, when I go to bed at night, it's mostly with a smile on my face. No, it's not other reasons. It's really about mentoring. And you will see why. And to start that, not information about myself that you can read online. Let's have a look at some mentors. When you speak about mentor, who comes to mind? When you speak about movies or think about movies or books or etc., who comes to mind? A great mentor. Any idea? Sorry? Religious figures? Heard somebody else here? Uncle Bob, okay. Yeah, could be. Somebody else? Gandalf. Somebody else? Sorry? Teachers, yes. Somebody else? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Almost. This is Yoda. You were close, you were close. Yoda, the smallest, mightiest guy in the universe. This is the mentor. Obi-Wan is close second. But this is the mentor per excellence. This guy is great. He's guiding Padawans or apprentice through this whole learning stage through the Force. We heard Gandalf. It's not going to be Gandalf next. Can anyone guess who that guy is? There's a clue. There's a small clue. Sorry? Almost. Alfred. It's Alfred Pennyworth. That's Batman's butler. Actually, way more than that. When Batman's or Bruce Wayne's parent died, he was given care to this butler. And his butler showed him through all his childhood and then adulthood and all that we know. And if you read the comics, it's not really great in the movies, but if you read the comics, you will see this guy has a way, way, way deeper role in the whole story. But let's have a look at another one. Who's that guy? No, it's not. Yes, it's not Gandalf. This guy helped Harry Potter survive. At the end of the first movie, he would have, or book, he would have died already. But he showed him the way. And then through a second story, and a third, and a fifth, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh one. And now, a new one. But anyway, without that guy, Harry Potter would have gone right away. And he showed him through. But instead of telling him, well, you have to do your Patronus and that's it, he showed him just enough to do the next step. This is mentoring again. Another one? Who was born in the 70s or earlier? Oh. So, do you know that guy? Mr. Miyagi, yeah. 1982, I think, was the movie, something like this. It's the Karate Kid master. Again, a great mentor. Last but not least, this guy you should know. You know that guy? That's Robin Williams, yes, but the character?
The Society of Dead Poets?
The Dead Poets Society, exactly. That's Mr. Keating. That's the teacher that inspires a whole generation of kids to just throw away all the limits and do something else, live their life. Those are great mentors. But is this real life? Of course. Mr. Miyagi, that's me. Ah, of course. And Yoda. Okay, so how about those guys? Do you recognize that one? Yeah, Albert Einstein. Do you recognize that one? George Lucas. How about that one? Denzel Washington. This one? No, no idea. Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And how about this one? Martin Luther King. What do they have in common? They're men, that's true. I couldn't find a proven female example, but I searched for it, so I'm still searching. Yes? That's true. Sorry, you said something?
Quite old.
They're quite old? Yep. They all publicly said they had mentors. For Albert Einstein, it's a guy called Max Temely. He was an ophthalmologist, so an eye doctor, and he was a friend of the Einstein family. And during the whole childhood of Albert Einstein, he fed him with books and with knowledge and everything he could to just keep this little boy growing who was absorbing so much knowledge. And he was the first to push him into sciences. For George Lucas, it's Irvin Kershner, which is a movie director who directed the Empire Strikes Back, so the fourth movie of Star Wars. He said also that this guy was, or his mentor. For Denzel Washington, it's one of his professors at the Fordham University, an actor and an English professor. And he also said, this was my mentor. For Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's a guy called Joe Weider, who is a bodybuilder and an entrepreneur in the bodybuilding scene in America. And when Arnold Schwarzenegger came to America, he was taken under his wing, and he showed him the ropes and everything and what we know now. And for Martin Luther King Jr., it's a guy called Benjamin Mays, who was one of the leaders of the black civil rights movements in America. And all those said, those were our mentors. But one of them said more. It's Denzel Washington. And he said, show me a successful individual, and I'll show you someone who had real positive influence in his or her life, a mentor. And I stand by this. It's not easy to find examples. It's not easy to find people saying publicly, this was my mentor. And that's why I couldn't find many women saying that. But I truly believe that behind every person, there is a mentor hidden. And we're here to find out. So, mentors, where are you? There must be some in this room. Are there some people that would qualify as mentors here? A few. Great. Some people that would say, I was or I am a mentee. So the opposite part of the mentor. A few. Okay. But still way too little. We need way more than this. Good you're here. Okay. Well, let's backtrack. Just speak about mentoring from the beginning. What is a mentor? What do you do with that? Just go on internet, type what is a mentor? And what comes out is, for instance, this definition. Anyone who has a positive guiding influence in another person's life, a trusted counselor or a guide. So basically everyone. Great. So I scratched my head and said, well, what can we do now? Let's try to look at what's not necessarily, what's a mentor isn't necessarily. For instance, a coach, a tutor, a teacher, your mom, a sparring partner, or my mom, a godfather, or my boss. So what is the purpose of a coach? When we speak about coaching, often we think about football or whatever sports you like. The coach has a mission. It is to take the team from a point A to a point B. Maybe it is going one league up, or it's winning the championship, or just remaining at the head of the championship, whatever. The coach is there. He has a mission. He has a purpose. What about the teacher or tutor? Does your math teacher is interested in your performance in sports? Not really. So your teacher, and per extension your tutor, has a field where this coaching or this teaching applies. The tutor has also the purpose of helping you in one-on-one, whereas the teacher is more a group relationship. Your mom, at least if it was my mom, she had a lot of ideas how I should do things, and she was deciding a lot about myself, how I should do things. So it was again coaching and bringing me to the next level, but some kind of manipulation or telling me what I should do. How about a sparring partner? Do you have sparring partners? Would you say you had one? Maybe? No? A sparring partner is some kind of mentoring, but at the same height. There's no person higher than the other one, more experienced. It's more, well, we're discussing. It could be mentoring, I don't know. A godfather, you rarely choose your own godfather. Could be mentoring, don't know. And a boss, well, we'll see about that right now. So all this could be mentors, but not necessarily. A mentor doesn't have a goal in mind. The goal is you. The goal is the mentee. The mentor is not trying to take the mentee from a point A to a point B career-wise or anything. It's just there to reflect. So it could be a mentor, your coach, but not necessarily. The tutor or the teacher could do exactly the same. Mentor you in some way, but not necessarily. Your mom could be a mentor as well, but again, not necessarily. She's deciding, or at least mine, she was deciding a lot. A sparring partner could be a mentor, but could also just be someone with whom you exchange ideas. A godfather could be a mentor, but if you didn't choose him or her, and if the chemicals are not right in your relationship, then is it really mentoring? How about your boss? Can you discuss quitting your company with your boss? Not really. So all this, I hope you're slowly getting an idea what I mean with mentoring. Still, I need to modify the definition. I like it more like this. A mentor is for me anyone who has intentionally has a positive influence, has a positive guiding influence in another person's life over a long time period. A trusted counselor or the guide. Why do I say this? Because the guy who is just posting videos on the internet and you happen to stumble on those videos and learn a ton from it, it's not mentoring. It's a guy who posted a video and you learned a ton from it. It was not intentional. It was intentional from him or her to put this content online, but it was not for you personally. And the second one, over a long time period, one of your teachers dropping a gem on you, some kind of statement, and you say, wow, brainfuck, it's so great. Now I'm so much smarter. It's not mentoring either. It should be over time. And when we have this, why is it so important? Do you know Shu Hari? That ring the bell? In martial arts, Shu Hari are the 3 stages of learning. The Shu level is where you learn the rules. The Ha level is where you start breaking the rules. And the Ri level is where you start making your own rules, so going further. I truly believe that you can go on the Shu and Ha levels just with any kind of coach or teacher, etc. But to reach the last one, you need someone who really thinks about yourself, who tries to enable you. And that's a mentor. It can be a teacher, it can be a coach, it can be anything, but he has to be someone who has you in mind. And that's why it's so important. Okay. Do you need some benefits, or is it already, oh, it's so great, let's all do it? No, still see some skeptical looks. Okay, so let's look at the benefits of mentoring. Let's start with the mentee. Okay? For the mentee, it will start with problem solving, for instance. How did I learn about all this mentoring stuff? Well, I was at a conference and two persons were on stage, a mentor and a mentee. And they were explaining all of us what they do and why it's so great. It was 5 years ago. I still remember it like today. They were doing stuff together. They explained us that they were creating prototypes and doing open source stuff. They were creating presentations. They were well, writing articles, etc. They were solving problems together. They were also discussing the end of the week, well, this week I had quite a problem with this guy and I don't know how to solve that. And then they were debugging this, or quite human debugging this together. That was their way of doing, and I've been doing this ever since. The second one is impartial advice. I told you before, can you speak with your mentor about quitting your job? If your mentor is your boss, it doesn't work. But with your mentor, it should be working. And, oh, I see people. Tell me how it goes. I want to know that story. Okay. So it shouldn't be company related or not too much. You should be able to talk about everything. With one of my mentees, I went really deep. He told me some personal stories I would have expected from really deep friends. And this evolved over time. And this can only be done well when you have a really personal relationship that goes very deep. Encouragement. I'm my mentee's cheerleader. I'm always there for them. If they have an idea, I'm there. If they have the dumb idea, I'm there as well. If they have something to party, I'm there as well. I act as a feedback loop. Whenever they get an idea, they can ping it back on me and they will get feedback from me. And they will get some, we will emulate this relationship and create something together. This is great encouragement. Personal development. I have an interesting story about that. One of my mentees is doing some Java development, some JE stuff. And at night, he loves to program games with Unity. And he was talking so much about it with a sparkle in his eyes that I said, well, why don't you do a bit more of this? So for instance, there is a workshop, or we're organizing workshops soon, and you could do a one-day workshop on Unity 3D. And at first he was, oh, no, I'm not ready for that. But I pushed him a bit and helped him. And in the end, he did this, and he did really great. He did a great job. And that's, for him, this is a giant step in his career. It's not just toddler steps. It was a giant steps. He trusted himself to do something else. This is development pure. And the last one, increased visibility. Well, I'm quite a lot on stage. And all my mentees are benefiting from this. They get this tag that they're with me. And so if your mentor is doing something that you like, then you're kind of associated with him or her. But that's just for the mentee. I'm asking you to be mentors as well. So just spend your time and get nothing in return. It's hard. No, I'm joking. Okay, benefits for the mentor. There's as well, personal learning. Have you heard this, this sentence from Seneca? Men learn while they teach. Who has rubber duck on his or her computer? Very good. What do you do with it? Talk to it. Exactly. It's called rubber duck debugging. You just talk to your duck. You say, well, my little duck, I did this and this and this, and it didn't work. So I tried that, and I tried that, and I tried. And the only word I know in Polish, kurwa. That was so easy. So this is the way you learn stuff. You try to reformulate. You try to organize it. And then at some point you realize that was so easy. Well, teaching is exactly the same. You create content for somebody else. You reformulate stuff. You just sort out your knowledge. And in the end, you know more than before. By putting yourself in those shoes, you grow as well. The next one would be personal journey. I want to quote the big Steve Jobs, who said, we're here to put a dent in the universe. Otherwise, why else even be here? The universe is a big for me. I'm happy if I can put a dent in someone else's life. That would be enough. But if I can move one or two people deeply, not just by talking here is also really great, but deeply connecting with somebody and moving her, that would be great. And then I can be happy with what I did. Winston Churchill also said, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And I find it really true. We're all gonna die someday, and if at the end of my life, I can look back and say, well, at least I moved a few people and I made the life from the people around me at least a bit better, it would be better than otherwise. So, yeah, my personal journey. Peer recognition is also really important. You would be amazed how discussions go when you drop in a room full of strangers who don't speak your language. And so basically yesterday, the before party. And the first thing you start telling them, well, I'm a mentor. And suddenly people start talking. And it's great. It's just great. And people are interested, and you get deep discussions that just emerge out of that. And this for me is also peer recognition. People are recognizing you for what you do. And you're giving time, you're giving energy, you're giving thoughts. And this is really great. Last one, you get insights. This one is a bit more tricky. If you're mentoring somebody in another company, well, you get deep insights of how this company works. Or in another department, or in another project, you get really deep information about all that. For me as a consultant, I'm going from client to client, and this is gold. I just get really deep information of how things are going. And I can see patterns, I can see things that work and see that things that don't. And this is really, really important for me. I can start understanding systems better. So I don't know how that works for you, but this for me is really, really important. So, yes?
Could we get back to the mentor slide with Yoda?
Yes.
Just wanted to add.
That one.
Just wanted to add Yoda, Tutor, and Dumbledore finished dead. Last King lost his jobs.
Yeah. It's Hollywood. It's Hollywood, you know. They have to dramatize everything. No, but it's true. I mean, you've heard about those 5 guys. The 5 that are behind them, you probably not heard much of them. Although Irvin Kershner, maybe, the mentor of George Lucas. But the others, you didn't. But that's okay, isn't it? They moved those guys who changed the world. At least for me, that's okay. If I could say one of my mentees changed the world, whoa, that would be already great. So let's go back to that one. If it's so great, why aren't you doing it already? I think I know. Maybe those reasons. It takes work. Yes, it does. I used to do it with some of my mentees where we were working on the same project for the same client. And it was easy just to drop by and say, well, want to go grab a coffee, and then we talk for an hour or two and just go back to our work. That was easy. And then I moved from the project, or he did, and suddenly it's not that easy anymore. We have to find some time to that. Then I got 2 kids. And then the time between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. is family time. And it's blocked. And nobody is putting a meeting in there. Not even me. And so I have to find time. So maybe it's Skype after 9 p.m. or we'll still have to find time during the day. It's hard. It's not easy. But we're still doing it, and we're still managing to do it because it's really important for both of us. The second point is insecurities. Yes, it's hard. Somebody is going to look quite deep into me as a mentee. Or as a mentor, somebody is going to box my knowledge with questions, and at some point, I'm not going to be able to answer. Well, you have to be straight in your shoes. If it's in a company, at some point, maybe your mentee will take you over. And he will get promoted and you won't. And this is also hard. Some people could tend to say, well, then I should keep my knowledge for myself. I don't want to give this out because somebody could use it against me. Well, that's true. But I think if the relationship is going well, then it's not a problem. Because the person is going to be loyal to you, etc. But it's a valid point, and that's why I put it here. That's, I think, why people don't do it. And last but not least, lack of training. Are some of you managers or team leads or something like this? Yeah. Have you done some one-on-one discussions or status meetings? Did that go well? I see. It's hard. We're not trained for that. Even teachers, teachers nowadays, or people learning or students learning to become teachers, are more getting group dynamics and teaching for groups than teaching one-on-one. This is not something we've learned. So you have to learn it just on the fly, try to do a good job with your new manager role and all the expectations of the company that's on your back. It's quite hard. And mentoring is exactly like that. You're going to work quite deeply with one person. And this can be humbling. This can be really humbling. But it's worthwhile. And those of you who intend to go into management and maybe do team leading afterward, that's a good way to try that and start learning how to do this. One more reason, and I have to call Seneca again. It's not because things are difficult that we don't do them. It's because we don't do them that they are difficult. When you're in a mentor-mentee relationship, you can go that deep, and it's just the two of you. There's no more expectation. The world is not looking over your shoulders. Just start doing it, and you will learn how to do it. It's that easy. I promise. So, actually, the biggest roadblock, the last roadblock that there is just to accept the mission and just start. I know, I'm dropping a lot of you right now. So, let me help you a bit more. The different kind of mentors. I found out 5 kinds of mentors. The first one is the advisor. That's the easiest. The advisor is just a person here just bouncing ideas with you. Just sometimes answering with a question, sometimes just nodding, or sometimes dropping knowledge on you. It's the coach, it's the teacher, it's your mom, it's everything combined. This is the advisor. That's what we all do. We already all do this. When you listen to a friend and give some advice, you're already an advisor. The one that's more tricky, it's the listener. Because it's in the title, the listener shuts up, doesn't speak, or it doesn't speak too much. It's like a mirror. That's a person that's just reflecting your ideas, reformulating your ideas, saying, did you mean this, or did you mean that? And you really said this, or, that's interesting. I've never heard that before. And by doing so, the mentee is learning him or herself. And you would be amazed what comes out of this. Just trying not to say anything. It's just freaking hard. But then the person starts to discover things on their own. And this is true mentoring by Jove. Then there's the connector. That's a guy or a girl with that thick a contact book. And that's able at some point to say, you know what, I think you're right. You should talk with this person about this topic. And just make the connection. And then those two persons are going to start doing something together. And if you do that right, it's the next gear. You're going from 3rd to 4th, or even to 7th. Don't try with your car. That's the connector, and that works really, really well. That has played tremendous roles in my life. I was connected with people at the right moment, on the right topic, and this just drives you forward like crazy. Some could say luck, but I think it's really individual talent from the people who do that. Then there's the cheerleader. The cheerleader is just there. That's the person cheering on you and helping you, having fun with it. And this is also a very important role. And then there's the challenger. That's what I did with this Unity 3D workshop. Just nudging the person. Come on, you're ready. Just do it. Just do it. And then being there to help. But this works because you know the person. You're not doing this right away. You're doing it at some point. You're doing it at some point when people are kind of trusting each other. And if you trust yourself and the other person really well, then you can go really far with this. So now is the time for the first exercise. So you have to take something out to write on. I'm going to prepare my time box. It's going to be a 1-minute time box. That's going to be fast. Okay? Are you all ready? Is he nodding? Okay. Who are or were your mentors? Please write down some names. It's for you. Just write down some names. Okay, and now just like in school, drop your pens, it's over. Okay, you can keep it for yourself. We're gonna need it, or you are gonna need it after. Okay, so let's put ourselves back in a mentor's shoes, and let's pretend we're looking for a mentee. What should we look for? Well, the perfect mentee doesn't exist. First and foremost. But the perfect mentee make things happen and adds value. This is very important. For instance, one of my mentees took over half of responsibility that I have in our company, organizing a day workshop every month for the whole company. And he's organizing the whole afternoon, and he's been doing a heck of a job and doing it way better than I ever could. He's making things happen. He really understands what this means, and he just code it and run with it. And this is great. He's doing a great job, and he's adding value for the whole company. The perfect mentee is also someone who sees and seizes opportunity. Again, the same mentee. When he is planning the afternoon, he's thinking, okay, what could be great? And if he's trying to scan the whole company and say, well, this person could present something and this person could say something about it. And maybe if we mix this and create something else, then it's going to add value even more. And then it makes things it happen again. So this is really important. Then it's not just somebody who's doing some work, but also somebody who influences people, who gets the ball rolling and gets people not just from the passive side, but on the active side of mentoring. One further, the perfect mentee is committed. It's a person who is really committed to a mentoring relationship, who wants to do it, and who understands that both sides are putting some work, are putting some time, putting some effort in there. And so they're doing it because they want to do it, not just half-heartedly, just really doing it. And last but not least, it's respectful and loyal, and this goes both ways, obviously. And that's why I'm not scared about having a mentee take me over, because we are both respectful, working respectfully with another, and we're both very loyal to another. So it's really a win-win relationship. And if he or she takes me over, well, great. That's a person I help in his or her career. Great. Nothing to fear. So let's put the pens out again. This is the second exercise. Again, 1 minute. Who could you mentor? Just go through all your colleagues or friends or people you've been working with, and we start with 1 minute again. Okay, and it's been a minute again. Went fast, huh? Was it like a life and death experience? Seeing your whole life scroll through your eyes. I first did this job, and then there were those persons, and so. Well, that was for me. Just going through my whole career and saying, well, those were the persons I met, and then those was, that was scary. Okay, so now let's put ourselves on the other side, in the shoes of a mentee, and we're looking for a mentor. There, I have a few pointers I want to give you. First, you have to ask yourself, is the life of this person worth following? I have a very personal example for that. One of my former boss was kind of a mentor to me and was really ready to pull me with him on my career. But the way he was living his life and the way he was doing things, I didn't completely agree with that. And that was this big decision to make. Am I following this guy and he might take me quite far? Or am I saying no because it's not true to what I want to be or who I want to be? This is the first point. The second one would be, does this person already has followers? So older mentees. This is another boss of mine who would have been a great mentor, somebody of great knowledge, but had no mentees. And by scratching under the surface and wondering why, I realized this person likes to give a lot of things, but not really in a constructed manner. Not really in order to make one person grow. It's just giving and giving and giving and just throwing it out the window. And if somebody catches it, well, it's great. And if it's not, so what? It was not really a great person for me to follow. But if you find a mentor, and you have to ask yourself, that already has followers, ask yourself, what encouraged those other followers to follow this person? Is it really why I want this person to be my mentor, or is it for something else? If it is, great. If it's not, well, ask yourself why. Why are people following this person for another reason that you are? Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's not. Maybe this person is doing something else that you don't realize at some point. One very important point for me, I am a leader in what I do. And I want a mentor who produces leader, somebody who's going to take me to the next level as a leader, not as just a follower. I want to be active. And if you realize that the mentor you seek is producing followers, so kind of a groupie, a fan club around him or her, that's maybe okay for you, it's not for me. And last but not least, has this person strength I can reproduce? If I go to Michael Phelps, the swimmer, and tell him I want to swim the 400 meters under, minute something, he's going to look at my feet and look at my hands and say, well, you're missing at least 10 centimeters, so not going to do it. If this person, if my mentor reached a certain point with some skills that I cannot